If you're anything like me, you got a bunch of these phone charger cables laying around that just will not charge the phone. So if you get stuck, you got a bunch of cables, but none that work, and some minor tools, I can help you out. Normally I would use my wire cutters, some kind of snips, and some heat shrink tubing to make it look a little professional. So I'm also going to show you how to do it with just scissors and some electrical tape, hopefully. Knowing what's wrong with the cable is half your battle. So I know this really long one here, I stepped on the end of it, and you can see where this end is bent and broken off. So I just want to cut this off and then find a good end off of another cord, and then we should have one good cable that's actually got some decent length to it. Cut us off a good section of this here and swap it over to here. So let's go ahead and grab our scissors. And depending on which one you are working with, you just want to leave yourself enough room. You don't want to cut yourself so short here that you don't have any wires left. And that's probably good there. Alright, so let's get rid of the bad one and the bad one. So we want to put this one to here, this dirty one onto this clean one. And like I said, normally I would use my strippers here, and this would be much easier, but since no one will have these at home, I'm going to show you how I would do that here. So what I want to do is just barely cut into it and then just kind of spin it around, because we're just cutting this outer casing here. And then when you get a good enough spot, just kind of tilt the scissors like that. Now I'm going to kind of pull against it and shred it out a little bit. See how I pulled that off there? Alright, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's lovely. So this is going to be probably our power and our ground, and these are going to be our data cable, or data whatever you call it, because it's an Apple iPhone. Okay, so we want to do the same thing on this, is just kind of give it a nice little bite. This cable is a little bit different because it's got this tennis shoe type stuff on here. So I want to be careful because these wires on these phone charger cables are really, really small. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Got some shielding. Alright, and hopefully we have the same amount of wires. So on these little wires here, if you have fingernails, just pinch it with your fingernails and you can just strip it right off. And if you need to use your scissors, like I said, don't bite into it, just hold it. I'll show you on this one. Get that one out of the way. All right, we'll go on this blue one. You don't even need to cut. Just make contact with the blue, and it did cut it a little bit, so now it should be able to just pull right off of there. Those are super easy. So you want to do that on all your wires, and then I'll show you the next step. I twist each one so that it's nice and tight and all together, rather than all frayed and all over the place. You might run into a spot where you don't have a black, and all you have is that metal shielding and then all the metal fibers. Just twist that all into one together and then put your black to that, or your two housing or shieldings together. You don't need 2 inches of exposed wire here, so just come across and cut it down to about 1/4 inch, or kind of show you how I splice the wires together. Now if you're using heat shrink, you want to put your heat shrink on first, because once you tie this up, you wouldn't be able to get over the knot, of course. Okay, so what I do is I just wrap each side around itself so that I have kind of a smaller frame. Most people will take the two wires and just split it off, and then you have a giant knot on the side of your cord like this. Normally I would add a little bit of solder there, and then you have a little bit of a pull rather than it just breaking apart. So go ahead and do that for each one, and then the black is going to go to your shielding. Make sure you button it up with a little electrical tape so that none of your exposed wires are touching each other. And then it's not going to be pretty because we're not using professional tools here, but try to get it as smushed in there as you can, and come in with a little bit bigger piece of tape. And then now is where we'll try to hide our incident here. We'll wrap it up like a hockey stick. Obviously, you probably do it better than this. I'm trying to do it on camera. All right, so it's a little bit smaller. So now let's try to plug it in and see if it'll charge my phone. Film and show you that it works and it's charging, but it does work, and it is a hideous monstrosity, but that will get you through until you can at least get to the gas station or the Walmart or somewhere else to get yourself a new cord. Good luck.